They say some people walk into your life as blessings, others walk in as lessons. But every once in a while, someone walks in as both and leaves behind a story so dark, so twisted, that even time itself refuses to forget it. This is not a story about love. It's not a story about money. And it's definitely not a story about revenge. This is a story about patience, about pain, and about what happens when someone decides that justice is too slow and chooses to take control instead. Sit back, listen carefully, because by the end of this story, you may never look at trust the same way again. Today we're talking about a man named Chief Tatapo, a man so powerful, so insulated by his own wealth, he honestly believed he was untouchable. He was about to find out, in the worst way possible, that some debts can't be paid with money. They're paid with, well, with everything else. And yeah, this story, it really starts with a warning. It's a twisted tale of power, betrayal, and a revenge plot so perfectly crafted, it just unravels in ways you will not see coming. It's a chilling reminder that sometimes the quietest people are the ones you should be most afraid of. So how does a king finally fall? You might imagine a huge battle, a political scandal, right? No. For Chief Dapo, it happened in the quiet of his own bedroom, at the hands of someone he thought he completely owned. So let's meet the man himself, Chief Dapo, 63 years old, with the kind of wealth that's just loud. You know the type. Smoked expensive cigars, wore these heavy gold chains that rested on his stomach, and he had this laugh, this booming laugh that said, "Nothing in this world can touch me." And that was his problem. He truly believed his money could buy him anything and anyone. And then there was Amara, just 22, with this soft, quiet voice and eyes that didn't give anything away. On the surface, I mean, she was the perfect trophy, the perfect sugar baby, but underneath all that, she was something else entirely. She wasn't a prize to be won, she was a hunter, and Chief Dapo had just walked right into her trap. The precision of what happened that night is just chilling. On April 12th, Amara serves him his favorite meal. They go upstairs. Then, at exactly 9:30, a single, sharp scream cuts through the silence. No struggle, no fight. And get this, by the time the police arrived, Amara was just sitting on the couch, legs crossed, waiting, as calm as if she just poured herself a glass of water. And her only explanation to the police? "He thought I was a toy. Now he can never play again." See, she hadn't killed him. She had mutilated him. The plan was never to end his life. Oh no, it was to make him live with what he lost. To take away the one thing he believed made him a powerful man.
Wow.
Of course, the world needed a simple story, a motive everyone could wrap their heads around. And the one that stuck was the oldest one in the book, a woman scorned. The media just exploded. The headlines were sensational. On social media, Amara became a villain to some, and, strangely, a hero to others, all overnight. The narrative was simple, it was juicy, and it was exactly what the real masterminds wanted everyone to believe. So the story went like this. Dapo was about to dump Amara for a newer, younger model named Teniola. A classic crime of passion, right? It made perfect sense, it was easy to understand, and it was completely, totally wrong. I mean, from Dapo's perspective, their whole relationship was just a transaction. He provided the luxury lifestyle, the designer bags, the car, the apartment, but in return, he demanded total control.
Wow.
She wasn't a person to him, she was an asset. And in his world, assets are always replaceable. But this neat little story started to fray at the edges. There was one really strange detail, a loose thread that when someone finally pulled it, unraveled everything. This is the question and blew the whole case wide open. Dapo survived, yeah, but he was broken and humiliated. And yet, he refused to press charges. The only thing he would say to the police was, "Let her go." Now, why on earth would a powerful man protect the person who just destroyed him? Well, that question really bothered a junior officer on the case, so he started digging. He went into old files, looked at bank records, and read ignored complaints. He was searching for a part of Dapo's history that Dapo desperately wanted to keep buried. And you know what? He found it
Nice.
3 years earlier, a ruthless land deal in Delta State. Turns out, Chief Dapo had violently forced a family off their land, burning their farms and destroying their home, all to close some deal. And in that fire, a 13-year-old girl watched her entire world turn to ash. Her mother was killed in the chaos. Her father just vanished. She was left with nothing but the memory of the man who was responsible for it all. That little girl was Amara.
Wow.
She had changed her name, her backstory, her entire identity, all for one single reason: to get close to the man who took everything from her. This wasn't a crime of passion. It was justice, served cold. But just when you think you finally got the full picture, the story hits you with one last, absolutely stunning twist. Remember the jealous rival, the other woman? Well, she was never a rival at all. Teniola, the woman Dapo was supposedly leaving Amara for, was actually her best friend from high school. They had made a promise to each other years ago to always have each other's backs, long before a man like Chief Dapo ever came into their lives. See, they were both united by the pain Dapo had caused. Amara lost her family because of that land deal, but Teniola, her own cousin, had been one of Dapo's first sponsored girls years earlier, and he'd left her completely broken, abandoned in a rehab center.
Wow.
They had different tragedies, but they were caused by the exact same monster. So, a master plan was born. They reconnected at a school reunion and set their trap. Amara played the part of the devoted lover to get inside his world. Teniola played the tempting replacement, which completely fueled Dapo's ego and made him careless. Working together, they dismantled his life from the inside out. But breaking his body and his pride? That was just phase one. Their real goal was so much bigger. They didn't just want to destroy the man. They wanted to completely erase his entire corrupt empire. So, 1 week after the attack, Dapo is in hiding, licking his wounds, and Amara has been released from custody. And that's when the final stage of their plan goes into motion. Anonymous files, codenamed Balance, suddenly flooded the internet, and they contained everything: secret videos of his shady deals, scans of illegal contracts, hidden bank records and offshore accounts. And here's the kicker: the names of every single one of his accomplices. This wasn't just revenge, it was a full public audit of a corrupt man's life. His empire wasn't brought down by violence, but by the truth. Amara and Teniola were never seen again. They just vanished.
Wow.
But they left one last, haunting message online, a signature on their masterpiece of revenge. And it really leaves us with a question, doesn't it? When the system fails to deliver justice, what's the real difference between vengeance and finding balance? You see, not every villain looks like a monster, and not every victim looks innocent. Sometimes the most dangerous people are the ones who smile the hardest and wait the longest. Because revenge doesn't always come with anger. Sometimes it comes quietly, slowly, patiently. And by the time you realize what's happening, the damage has already been done. So remember this: when pain is ignored, it doesn't disappear. It only changes shape. And some shapes are permanent.